So it's Adine and Tiger, and we are here at the dam. It's a nice hot day, so hopefully the Ellies will swim a bit and enjoy the water. As the past few days were actually cold, and they didn't swim much or enjoy the water as much. So it seems like we chose a good day. So I'm going to switch you over in the direction of the Ellies. They are about 5 minutes out. We just have been in radio contact, and then we'll see how it goes. And if there's any questions, let us know. We will answer on on the go, but actually talk you through. So should there be topware coming, we'll tell you which elephant is also which one. And yeah, so good to be live again.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Mm.
Okay. Hi, Andrea. So you're here from New Zealand. So it must be evening and night time. On your left hand side, you can actually see some impala, but they're very still.
Yeah,
And good morning from New York and in Joburg. Viewers, we're from all over the world.
that's great. Actually, I mean, these guys to share what we're seeing now with us while they are far away. It's a good feeling. You know, so this is one of the water holes where the elephants basically swim. In daily basis, we have various water holes, but we also need to manage our environment. So we can't keep the elephants to sit same place all the time. They need to maneuver in between the water holes, and that way we can also manage our environment, the damage of the trees and other stuff. So it is very important that you rotate, and then your elephants don't also get used in the same routine when it comes to feeding, feeding methods, you know. So we go different directions every day. Whereas once you get to the bush, your elephants get to choose what they want to do. All you need to do, you just keep the perimeter and say, okay, this is where I'm gonna stand, or I'm gonna sit here, watch them, and then they'll be feeding themselves. Once they get to a point where you don't want them, for example, they want to knock over a big tree, and then you feel like, no, it's not really necessary, you just tell them quit or no, they understand that, okay, this tree we must spare, we mustn't damage, and they'll move on. But once they're out in the bush, we try by all means that we give them as much space as possible so that they can just be elephants, they get to do what they do best. If they want to play, they can play. you know at some moments when we need to shift from one area to another, that's when we intervene with the behavior, like feeding behaviors. That's when we start to call them, saying, okay, cool guys, here we're done, we need to move somewhere else where we carry on with our feeding. So that way you can, let the bushes or other places to rehabilitate, so that doesn't really get damaged completely. It is quite crucial to understand the feeding of these animals, how they do it out in the bush. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. So this afternoon, you will find that they've been feeding the whole morning. So this is an opportunity for them to come and drink. Like, they can drink water, but at the same time, they can also choose if they want to swim, if they want to wallow in the mud. Well, it's their choices. We're not here to make their choices for them. They can make their own choices. But we, like Adine said, we have very good weather today. It's pretty much warm, and we are presuming maybe they might swim. Few of them might swim, but some they might not want to. But it's all good. It's up to them. It's their choices.
So yes, the carers did tell us over the radio. They're 5 minutes out, and that was now already 5 minutes ago. So they must be quite close. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than expected. So just some background. This is We call it Scallum Dam, and it's actually around the corner. So if you drive, you don't really see this waterhole. But it's actually a very lovely waterhole, which the elephants love. And where that kind of bush is, on the right-hand side, you'll see it's a darker mud color, but the ellies love that area. And this is one of the dams that you'll meet in winter time when it's drying up to clear it and rebuild that what do you call it? Um,
the damage
the
or
damage, yes,
yes.
onto that area, because otherwise we'll lose, the dam permanently. So we'll have to rebuild that wall, or sorry, the dam wall. That's the word that I wanted to say. But they really love this dam, and also what we'll do is make it a little bit deeper. So once it's deeper, it will, have a lot more water and maybe be sustainable during the winter times. As this area, this is the only dam or water hole in this feeding area. And it's my grandfather always said, it's important to have as many water holes in different areas for the animals. So that's for us, very important to have these different water holes. But the impalas are still standing on the same place. They're not moving. And I think Tiger maybe just radio then here.
Yeah, can you hear them calling?
Well, can you hear them calling? So Tiger and myself are, both of us have one AirPod in our ear. And
so we're both listening.
yes, so that means you can hear both of us. But it is lovely to have all of you online. Sorry for keeping you waiting. I think we also, in the same anticipation. I'm going to keep quiet because you can hear the guys calling me, saying, "Go, go, go, go." But that's actually Israel.
Yeah.
Israel's got a lovely voice. That wasn't Israel.
That sounds like Owen.
Oh,
Nah.
yes.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. It is what it is.
Oh, yes. Again, I can see all of you here. So I also don't have my glasses. And I see your country have over 3,000 elephants. Sorry, but I didn't get the country. There they come. So just, sometimes, people will ask me, how did you saying, 3,000 elephants, South African, and has so many elephants. Why do you look after these elephants? There's still too many. But if you just look at the whole of the Southern Africa, the numbers are reducing. And maybe we don't have as much poaching yet, but it is definitely increasing. And the reason for establishing herd is to address, what will happen with the orphans. I always say it's great to have various rhino orphanages throughout South Africa because we're spreading our best. However, with elephants, they need family, they need other elephants, and that for us is important. So there, the truck, the buck arrived with the shift areas. So these areas will come in, they're taking over, and the other areas as well, they bring in fresh water, back, bottle food.
Sure, lovely. They all have something in the mouth. It looks like everybody's got a branch
Yes.
that they are playing with and chewing along the way. And yeah, definitely in front there we have Klaseri, and then we also have Temisa taking over now.
To the right.
To the right, that's Kumbura, that's right. And behind Klaseri, there's Mambo, just heading towards Kumbura right now. And then, yeah, it looks like most of the big elephants are behind. They're approaching, but you see once they get to the water, we can easily identify them, from a distance, looking at their, body-wise, body structure. There are also some of the features that you look at that will always memorize, like looking at looking at looking at for example Bobby now, who is approaching the water, and you find out that she has these quite unique tusks, which are quite skew. The other one is pointing downwards, whereas the other one is more upwards but sideways. So those are some of the features that you look at when you identify your elephants. But yeah, you can see little Canis as well next to Temisa. From your left, there's Pisa. Then there's Temisa. And then the third little elephant standing right next to Temisa there, that's your Canisa, that albino elephant. I mean, she's very cute. So they're all taking a sip now. And let's see what's going to happen after they drink.
And Lindy is working on the dam wall. Now, Lindy not really crazy about, swimming and getting wet, but she will come and drink water. She actually has this little play that she always has, where she takes a sip and then she splits it in front of.
Those three little ones were quite thirsty, and they're the ones, first get to the water and they're still drinking, um, which is very, very important part of it. Um, they can, they need to have access to water anytime, whenever, wherever they are. So it's quite crucial that, like we were talking about water holes, how they were planned, within our environment. So that makes it easier for you to go anywhere within the environment, because everywhere you go, there's a water hole that will give you a water source for your animals. So you will see that some of these guys are like Jabulani is standing right behind of the others, and he's just munching on his branch there. But eventually he will come to drink if he wants to. Then behind Klaser we have Somapani.
Now, Sabafone, I would assume would be one of the big tuskers. Just his personality as well, very docile. He's just got an amazing character around him. He's not really into fighting, but he just has this presence around.
And he's the most intelligent elephant, eh?
Yes, yeah, and his smell.
Yeah.
His smell is unbelievable good. So there was actually a documentary made about um, uh, elephant's biggest enemy, mankind, where um, Jabulani and that poor Saba Douglas Hamilton had made a documentary, and he can track people throughout the river and get the smell on the other side again.
So that shows their sense of smell. It's quite phenomenal. It's unbelievable. They're able to distinguish, different smells at the same time, which makes them quite intelligent because they also rely more on their sense of smell, especially when they're out in the bush. Because if they can't see a predator, they can quickly smell, and then that will alarm, they'll trigger the awareness, and then everybody will be like, okay, we must be very careful. There's lions close by, though they can't see, but they can smell them. So that is also a very strong point. What keeps them going out in the wild? Okay, it helps them a lot apart from eyesight, and also hearing is very, very good. These guys can hear down to 40 hertz, which is like twice than us. which means their hearing is quite extremely good. They respond more on sounds, and then eyesight is not as good as ours, but they can also quickly pick up movements. You know, when you're moving around, they can quickly see you, but sometimes they can hardly see you when you're standing still, you know, but they can smell you anyway. So that's how they alert themselves when something occurs, you know, among themselves. Yeah. So they are quite interesting animals to watch, like we're doing now. So, you know, we always wish like if people can come and visit and get to do this, you know, just meet them in person. I think it's also a great thing just to witness what we're witnessing now.
And on the right hand side, you've got Sandoga, who's in that area of the Waterhole play area.
So what is basically happening there, he's actually, you know, grabbing all the mud and throwing the mud, you know, over his back. By doing so, he's actually trying to keep the skin, you know, I mean, keep the sunburn away, you know. So he's actually throwing the mud, then he stays, you know, hydrated, and the skin doesn't really crack that way. So it is quite important that they also, you know, perform their natural behaviors like what they're doing now, because even in the wild they can do that. And that's Adine calling the little albino,
Yeah, so
and she's listening.
Lisa is in the water and is actually the deepest in the water. And there she comes. She seems like the only one that wants to swim.
Yeah, and she's getting brave and brave, eh?
Yes,
Yeah.
interesting. Because Booby is also one of the ones that swim. I'll swim a little bit later.
She's wondering where that whistle is coming from.
We,
Yeah, but but
oh
she
no,
has an idea. She has an idea. You can see.
come around. I haven't on the reserve was traveling for marketing for the lodge and kind of missed a lot. I actually thought she would forget. Elephants never forget. So when she saw me, I don't know who was the gladdest.
You or her?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's amazing. And she comes.
Just behind her, um,
Yeah. Behind is Classeri.
Siri. So Siri is not the greatest, with the little ones. I think she's a little bit harsh.
It's all right. Easy. Steady. Steady. It's all right, my girl. Classeri. Classeri. So right, the excitement is just amazing. They're getting a little bit excited now. Hello, Classeri. And then we have Booby also approaching from the right.
So
Um,
you see that
Booby.
Siri, even though she
Guys, vanwangawaye kuno shepherd.
Really
Anyway, yeah, yeah, thanks, God.
sincerely not just going to stay around here. Also,
Yeah,
very excited.
she was very excited to meet Adine. You could hear how she rambled and everybody else responded. So if it was a distressful sound, you could see everybody rushing towards her. But now that was like more like excitement. So in greeting us. So everybody were like, okay, you are fine. You are not, you are not in danger. So they were like, okay, you can have fun. But you also,
No, it was just Booby and then Kasiri, but Kasiri is the 3-year-old for now. You know, that cat. But not Tokwe or Lundi or any of even okay. But I did respond to her. That's very special.
that's very special. It means they obviously understood the call wasn't a distressful sound. So that's why they remained where they are. Um, but if it was a distressful sound, you could see them running. They couldn't stop. Like per se.
Now, a really lovely personality. Probably just Kasiri. Fun with the bull. Wild younger bull. As a carer for Kanisa. So if you stand watching,
Yeah, recently we have noticed that most of these young females they are quite interested in Kanisa, especially when they are looking after her.
they are not sure about
So you can see this little one now. She's also, I mean, it's also about, you know, uh, about 28 minutes to go for her bottle time. And then you will probably see her actually heading off for the bottle when the time is right. Like what Adin said earlier, that we also bring the bottle with us every time we go out in the bush for her. So she always receives bottles every 4 hours, and she also likes her bottles. She enjoys the bottles. So that's Adin's duty to make sure that she receives her bottles, enough bottles, at the right time. Um, she's now scouting and she wants to see what's happening there. Um, Cam, can you?
so that's actually our Wi-Fi.
Cam.
So she can't take that. She's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm very sorry that you can't hear me. I don't know why. Um, but yeah, that is then Klasiri's done.
No, it's,
Does Kanisa have a cut on her forehead? Yes. So Kanisa had a cut there from Pisa.
Yeah.
So Pizza was a little bit harsh on her and gave her that cut. Was it last week, Tiger?
Yeah, yeah, it's a week ago, but it's not that bad. It's just a scratch, and you can see that they've been putting an anointment on it, but she's showing no any kind of pain and discomfort about it. So that shows you it's not really something that she's worried of. But you know as carers, and then Adine, us, and everybody, we make sure that she gets the anointments, whatever is necessary, whatever she needs. She gets it in time so that she continue doing well with her skin and other and as well as other elephants as well. So it's really important. But yeah, she's a very interesting elephant, with a gray, more like gray tail. If you take a look here, um, that's a nice, like more grayish tail. Um, that shows you she's an albino, looking quite great and in good shape, very strong. Let's see if she's gonna go for mud there. Um, some mud close here. Let's see what she's gonna do. Um, she loves to explore. She loves to explore a lot. There we go. She's smelling there. Let's see what she's gonna do. Yeah. Um,
Keep track of our signal.
there we go. She's going for mud now. Yeah. Ready go. That's it. See what's happening now. She's actually trying to see what's surrounding her and to see if she's comfortable, with the environment she's in now. Because as you can see, we are more a few meters away from the big elephants. Steady, go. Come here.
She's hearing something.
Come here. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Actually,
Come here, my girl.
who
Come here. It's all right. Easy.
going to bring the hot. But
Yes.
yeah, somebody asked about the temperature. It is not as hot as about 28 degrees Celsius, which is actually a very lovely temperature. We're not reaching the 30s at the moment, and the evenings are quite chilly. So I've got, usually, short sleeve on during the day, but like when the sun goes down, and even the wind is a little bit chilly. So then I'll put in, on just like a soft jersey, not too thick. You can see there's Booby at the top, keeping her eye on Anita.
There you go. There you go. Classeri, yeah, Classeri is still with the booby.
You see this one, last, up here.
Okay. Come. We are going to score. Vienu. Vienu kuno. Kayisa, come. Come here. Now she's dying for her burrows. There we go. That's yeah. You can hear that little rumble as she's receiving her bottle, and that shows you she's glad that she's having the bottle, and she's also excited now that she's having her bottle. Okay, so we she received those bottles every 4 hours. As she's getting bigger and bigger, and also I think amount of the milk also increases. But at a time when she gets much bigger, then it also decreases because we'll be like facing the weaning process or the weaning phase of the operation. That's when she's about to stop drinking. So you can't just take away the milk or the formula completely. You just bring in a little by little, but you cut it off bit by bit. So that way, she doesn't get stressed that the bottle is just cut off immediately. You have to do it step by step so that she can accept, she get used to the routine until it's completely gone, and that therefore she won't really, stress about receiving the bottles. She is doing very well. You can see she's excited. It's like, mommy, 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 give me milk. Yeah, no, yeah. There we go. And now she's done. Yeah. Let's see if she's gonna just wander off. And she's gonna continue feeding, picking up the grass, trees, or whatever it is. Yeah, there we go. Easy go. All right. All gone. All gone. She really, she really knows. You give her one bottle, then you just hang on for a second, and then she's like, reminding you that I need my last bottle. I'm not going anywhere before I get my last bottle. Once she receives the last bottle, then you eventually see her walking away, and then she goes to feed with the others, and then you find all the females like Booby, they gather around here. They know right now she was getting the bottles, and so they just watching. They pretend as if they're not seeing what's happening, but actually they are quite aware of what's happening now. Our presence, Adil's presence, and everything else. So you find out that at some point they do trust our presence. They do trust us as being part of the herd, part of the family. And it's also very important that we keep that relationship, the fact that they need to trust us, so that we can be able to attend their problems whenever they need us. So it's quite important, and it's quite crucial that we have this bonding. We keep it going. Now you can see how what she's doing with Adin there. They always play around like that, but she doesn't know she's getting bigger now. No, they love to play. They love to play. Yeah. Steady, Ganisa. There we go.
Maybe just walk around to see how far our signal goes,
Okay.
and then see if we can see some more berries.
Now, right. Yeah.
Okay, so Tiger left that. So we'll continue. Come on, again.
Come. Let's go. Come, Ganisa.
Go. Come on, again. Go. Well done. Oh, it's fine.
It's all right. Ganisa, come on, go. Andy, come here. Come. Come. Let's go. Move on. Come, Ganisa. Come. Come. Let's go. Come. Come. Let's go. Move on. Andy, go feet. Come on. Move on. Let's go. Go. Ganisa, come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's lead. Let's lead to follow. Come. Good go. Who is that hiding behind those trees there? All right, let's see it. There we go. Easy. Good girl. Good girl. Andy, let's see. Move up. Move up. Andy, come to me. Can you say, come? Come and go. Come. 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 Andy, go feed. Go. Bobby, move up. Come. Come, Gajiza. Come. Come, Gajiza. Come. Come, Gajiza. Yeah, it's okay. Move up. Bobby, Andy. 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 Move up. Move up. Move up. Boy. Move up. Come on, my girl. You move up. Come. Move. So down back. It's all right, my girl. Good girl. Come. Mm. It's okay. Window. There's your baby. Come over this side, Eddie. Come over this side. Okay. That's it. Bobby.
Move up. Move up. Let them
Andy, it's
feed.
okay. Move up. Come on. Move up. Good girl. Get off. Get over. It's okay.
Come, come, come.
Pick up.
Come talk, man. Come on, second.
Pick up. Andy.
Come talk. Go.
Move up. It's okay. Move up. Pick up. Pick up, Andy. Move. Andy, move up. Move, Andy. Pick up. Move. Move up. Move up. Move it. Move up. Move up. Move. Move. Move up. Move up. Let's go. Move up. Move up. Move up. Move up. Move up. Move up. Good boys. Andy. Some up, Andy. Move up. Andy. You're from. Andy, Andy. Come. Come, Anisa. Anisa, come. Come here. Anisa. Come. Come. Okay. Move up. All right. So here they go. Um, Now, what is happening? They're heading off. They'll continue feeding throughout the day. So this is what they basically do throughout the day. They're done drinking. You see, you saw they couldn't swim. They decided not to, but at least we had a few playing with the mud. But that's their choice, you know. Like I said in the beginnings, they can, make their own choices. But I can see Kanisa doesn't want to leave Adine behind. That's why she's, you keep on coming back all the time. When Adine stops, she stops. She doesn't want to leave here behind. They are quite amazing animals. One can easily form a special bond with them. If you do things right, you just need to be positive towards them. Just show them you trust them, respect them. They will do the same thing, exactly the same thing. So, for us, that's what we use. We use the positive reinforcement. More likely, whenever you ask them to do something else, something that you feel like, okay, this you can do, then afterward, whenever they do something that you ask them to do, then they will receive something in return. So that's a positive reinforcement. For example, we use commands. For example, you saw how we were telling Kanyisa to move, or Bubi, whoever was here, move up. It's a command that we basically use to say, move. It's time to move. So once they start moving, and then they are responding to you, then afterwards you give them something to eat. So once they get to a point where they're gonna start feeding, they'll continue feeding, and then they will receive something in return. So it is very, very important and very interesting, complex of how they respond to your commands if you actually do things right. So for us, it's very entertaining, and for us, we never get enough, of these animals. We always taking pictures. Though we have thousands and thousands of pictures that we took over the years, but still, every single day you feel like you wanna take another picture. You wanna have a selfie. I mean, you can't get enough. So that makes it very, very special, and yeah, I mean everything. I mean is done accordingly, and then we really give thanks to Adine, who actually is sacrificing everything that she has just for these animals, to make sure that they get what is necessary, and they get help whenever they need it. So Adine is doing a great job with these little ones, in terms of giving them a second chance, as you understand that every single young elephant deserves a herd. So this is one of the special herds that was, brought in to make sure that these little ones get help whenever they need it. Okay. So yeah, herd is pretty much providing that kind of environment, whereas you bring in young elephants, doesn't matter what condition, we also have veterinaries that will come to assist if the elephant is in bad condition. They assist. Once that young elephant is fully recovered, what we normally do is we start the process to introduce that young elephant into our big head. And that way they can continue with their normal lives. And then we know that they also got their second chance. It's quite fascinating, and it's very interesting.
I think part of that, Tiger, is there's no handbook for it. We take it day by day.
Yeah, there's no institute that you can go and teach you how you should look after an elephant. So we take it as it comes, and yeah, we still learning. We can't get enough of these animals. We're still learning. There's still a lot that we still need to learn and about them. And if there's anybody who tells you they know everything about elephants, want to say they're lying.
Yeah.
You can't know everything. I mean, but though we've been with them for a very long time, but still we feel like we are missing something else. Every single day we feel like there's something is missing, something we're not doing right. You know, which makes it very special and very, very interesting. Sorry about that. Okay.
But that happens a lot, that Tiger.
That tells
Whenever
you
I
watch your step. You are in the bush.
brand new shoes, you see, I've got new shoes on, especially
Ah,
for everyone.
yeah.
I have to just lift it in a bit by bit.
Yeah.
The others are in such a bad condition.
Yeah.
My friend let me
Buy a
try,
pair of shoes. Yeah,
like start wearing them.
yeah, it's worth it, especially when you're out here in the bush.
Yeah,
You really need to wear something, you know.
exactly.
Um,
They're
yeah.
nice, and I've got nice soles. I hope. I haven't walked there yet.
Is this your first time?
This is my first time walking. No, I haven't. I'm already sliding down the hill.
Yeah,
So,
I remember when we were young, like, when you were given something like a shoe, oh, you couldn't sleep.
yes,
You take that shoe, you go with that shoe in bed, and then
yes,
you keep it there, like
yes.
the
Can't wait for the
excitement.
next day to wear that, first to church and
Yeah,
then,
yeah, you feel like, yes, now yeah, so yeah, it's a wonderful feeling. Folks, thank you very much. You folks are wonderful, and we would like to thank you for your support and thank you for joining us. It looks like we had a bit of a problem with our earbuds. I'm not sure if you could hear Adine, but from us all, we say thank you very much and supporting, keep supporting her. I mean, the dream is to make sure that these guys get help whenever it's necessary, whenever they need it. You people are great, and God bless you. Keep well. We love you.
evening, good day, wherever you are.
Awesome.
Yeah.